Miller Mahdeevan with 8451 here. Welcome to another episode of The Uplow'd. We're glad you're here. Each month we dig into the world of AI, thick data, machine learning, data science. We invite you to stick around and let us know what you think. Keep an open mind and stay curious.
Welcome to The Uplow'd by 8451, everyone. I'm your host, Dan O'Keefe. So who listening or watching this does not have a Kroger Plus card? Shame on you if you don't, because today we're talking about data and insights from the Kroger Loyalty Program with Michael Schuh and Adam Ward. Welcome to The Uplow'd, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Good to be here.
So for starters, tell me a little bit about yourselves and your roles that you play within 8451.
Yeah, so myself and my team create strategies and products for brands and CPGs to connect with Kroger customers in relevant ways through our media platform, Kroger Precision Marketing.
Okay.
Yeah, and then me and my team, we work a lot with Michael and his team on how do we leverage our data from that Kroger Plus card to do campaigns, measurement, just kind of explore new relationships and new partnerships, and then also kind of partnering with our clients themselves and then our partnership management team to really explore what campaign measurement looks like and really drive value in many different ways.
Gotcha. And tell me, who would be a client, as you just mentioned?
Would be a CPG supplier. So really any company that sells products within Kroger.
Yep. Okay, great. So it sounds like you both rely heavily on the data that Kroger can collect in your day-to-day work, right? Can you tell us about the data assets Kroger and 8451 have available?
Yeah, so good question. There's a vast array of data sort of floating around here. Primarily, we collect data from the Kroger Plus card, which customers use in-store and online as they buy groceries in exchange for value, whether that's a price discount on a particular product or being able to redeem digital coupons or other things. We use that incredibly kind of vast data set to understand what customers purchase over time, how often they purchase particular brands, what causes them to switch between different products, and how they react to things like price. So that, along with a customer's sort of clickstream data or how they interact with us digitally, whether that's in the mobile app or on our sites, all gives us sort of a really good understanding of what drives customer behavior, what causes them to purchase the products that they do, and gives us the ability to then interact with them in different ways, whether that's providing value to them, whether that's communicating with them on our own properties or across different channels, and really gives us the ability to really reward their loyalty at Kroger and make them really happy with their experience.
Great. So you talked about interacting with the customer. So walk me through that process. You've collected tons of customer data via the Kroger Plus card, but what are your next steps with that data?
Yeah, I can take that. So I sit on our data science team, and we have tons of work that's being done to really leverage that data to, first and foremost, really help Kroger, right? So you think about all the different decisions that Kroger has to make. You think about pricing, you think about promotions, potentially like assortment or just space optimization within a store. There's just tons of questions that data can really help answer. I think another big thing we use that data for is personalization science. So if you ever go to Kroger.com, you're starting your cart, you're doing some online shopping, you'll really notice that once you log in, that the products you see are very tailored to what you typically buy. There's tons of work being done, specifically calling out the on-site world. So when you go to Kroger.com and kind of what you see, I think that's a huge thing. And then kind of more on our side with what we deal with a lot is more of that Kroger Precision Marketing media side of stuff. So that data really gives us a unique view into the customer, and it allows us to really execute campaigns in a way that's very unique. So you really think about like, okay, hey, we have a campaign. We want to go after certain customers, and that's really based on the client. So like those CPGs we're talking about, like, what's their client objective? Right. Do they want to maybe acquire new customers? Do they want to drive loyalty? Really using that first party data, we're able to kind of capture, hey, who are the customers that would be valuable to you? And then from there, it's really executing that campaign. So deciding, hey, what channels we want to run on, thinking about, hey, how do we use that data to actually score households and develop science to say, hey, you might want to acquire new customers, but what customers are like most likely to be acquired? We don't want to just like broadly hit people with different advertising or different coupons. We want to make sure we're using that spend wisely and then finding the right people that are most likely to convert and to become the new customer for that brand potentially. Right. And then lastly would be measure that campaign, right? So we're using that data to say, hey, we have exposures. We might know who got this coupon, who got a certain offer, and we're actually able to tell you, hey, was that effective? Right. Did that coupon drive a certain amount of value for you?
So what I heard was you're helping to identify the right channels for better targeting, and then backing that with measurement to better explain who saw what, who's reacting or acting on whatever offers. Correct?
Yep, definitely.
So can you tell me how 8451 data used for media efforts differs from data available in the industry overall? Or moreover, what downstream effect does that have on activations and analysis?
Yeah, our approach to this and the data that we have available gives us the ability to really differentiate from other retailers or publishers in this space. So, for example, sort of many others rely on, because they have to, they don't have the completeness of kind of point of sale data. So customers actually use the Kroger Plus card on 96 to 97% of transactions in store. It's a huge capture rate, and then allows us to understand, our heritage and our namesake at 8451, to understand customers' longitudinal purchase behavior and what causes them to do things over time, right?
Nicely done.
So it gives us the ability to do things quite a bit differently. Instead of relying on a really small panel or a modeled audience off of a small panel, we can actually use that data set to create better audiences, as Adam alluded to, as well as tie the vast majority of media exposures back to an actual sale, whether that happens online or in store. And so from a measurement standpoint, that allows our results to be quite a bit more accurate and then quite a bit more representative of not only what really happened, but of what you should do next time and how you should make a better decision with that next activation you have. We're really, especially as we, Kroger Precision Marketing's only been around for about 18 months now, so we're still maybe not maybe a toddler in the industry, but we're really on a mission to change how the industry represents results today, and believe we have the data set and the ability kind of foot forward to do that. What
do you believe the response has been thus far to Kroger Precision Marketing, or KPM? We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's been really strong so far. We've had a lot of really strong feedback from brands. Certainly, our approach is a little bit different than most, which is, caused some interesting conversations for sure. But as folks have tested the waters in different ways and activated with us, I think people have learned a lot, and they're using those learnings to then grow their business in different ways.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and just to tack onto that, I think clients do really like what we're doing. I think there is an element of, there has been some tough conversations because our data is unique.
Yeah.
And so we start to think about that measurement, and we don't have to rely on, very aggregated data sets. We can look at the individual household level and really tie back that media to that person. And that's really unique in the industry, to do it on a holistic level like we are. And sometimes the results that come back might be worse than expected. And it's not that the campaign was bad. It's that we're being very honest with the data we have as to what this campaign drove. And I think it's definitely unique, and it's definitely the right direction that the industry should go.
Right.
But it also is like a little bit of a pivot point that causes us to have some of those tough conversations at times as well.
And I'm going to talk about the tough conversations, or ask you about those tough conversations, in just a few moments. But first, talking again about the data collected by the Kroger Plus card, is that the only way you're able to gather insights and about current and potential Kroger customers?
I would say that the Kroger Plus card is definitely the number one thing we look at.
Okay.
Definitely the bread and butter, every pun intended, with what I just said there. I think it's the fuel that makes the engine run with what we're trying to do. So, within the industry, there's different third-party data sets. There's different things that people try to leverage, different companies try to leverage to go after certain types of consumers.
Right.
That's something that we can do, right? We can leverage third-party data sets, but we have that unique first-party data that other people don't have. And so that's kind of what we focus on. We've also seen some pretty good success of clients kind of merging their own customer database that they might know. They have certain information on customers, and if you overlay that with the Kroger data, we've seen some unique success there, because it's kind of two first-party data sets coming together as one. And really, again, that's a very unique data set to be able to leverage and activate media on, and then subsequently measure its impact.
So I was going to ask you how you combine those data sources to gain a more holistic understanding of the potential customer behavior and how that impacts the CPGs or clients' media plans. And you talked about that overlay. Did you just answer that question, or is there more you can expand on there?
Yeah, I can jump in on that. So as Adam mentioned, we really focus on purchase behavior first. And to some extent, that's backwards looking, but we still believe that purchase behavior, especially in grocery, is the best predictor of future purchase intent. And then what we're constantly looking to do is how do we then supplement that with what a customer is trying to do in real time.
Okay.
So whether that's what they're searching for online, whether that's how they're browsing different sites, whether that's a change they've made in their life to say, hey, now I'm searching for healthier recipes, or I'm trying to eat healthier, or I've had a major life change where I've moved to a new house or started a family, or any number of different things that's going to really shift purchase behavior. It's really about how do we combine those things? How do we create an overlay? And then how do we use that to be more relevant as we communicate with the customer, whether it's on our sites or across the web. And for brands, really those data sets and the combination of things that come together really allows us to meet their objectives in different ways. So at the end of the day, it's all about a brand for us as an advertiser, and they're trying to communicate with their customers wherever they are, and they're trying to achieve something. They're trying to launch a new product. They're trying to revive a declining brand. They're trying to get one more item in that basket. And it's really all about what is the right combination of customer or audience and channel that really helps make the right impact there.
Gotcha. Great. Well, thank you, Michael. I've heard you guys just talk about momentarily 8451 maintains a high level of transparency with their CPGs. Talked about the fact that you might identify that something's not working well, and you've got to break that news to that CPG, right? To me, it sounds like the Progressive Auto Insurance of data. Would you say that's accurate? Right?
Yeah,
we'll
sure.
give you the best quote, even if it's not ours, kind of a thing. So is that empowering brands by granting them insights from the most accurate data, even if it doesn't tell them what they want to hear? And can you expand on that and why it's so essential to 8451 to be that way?
Yeah, sure. And being the most transparent media company that's out there is something that, a lot of people around here have talked about. It's kind of a stance that we've kind of set in stone for the last 18 months. It's not something that we see changing anytime soon. And so I think that we approach measurement and we approach data very differently than potentially other measurement vendors or other partners might do so. Again, we have that unique data set that's very holistic. Like Michael said, 96% of all transactions are tracked on the Kroger card. So that allows us to take a different approach to how we do measurement. So when you think about kind of what the industry does, there tends to be a lot of very highly aggregated data that is used. So you think about, hey, there was some weekly impressions. Maybe there was some weekly impressions at like a division level or like a DMA level. What we're able to measure is actually at the household level. Okay. And so when we go through a campaign, we're able to actually hold out like a test and control. And we're able to make sure those two groups of people are as completely as identical as possible. Everything from where they live, everything from how much they spend on the products we're going to measure. There's tons of science that goes into making sure these two groups of people are identical. That's very different than a lot of industries. So, a lot of industries trying to answer the same question. Hey, how effective is my marketing? And there's different ways to do it, right? There's mix modeling, which has its place. There's things like multi-touch attribution, which again has its place as well. But it's not meant to capture like that incrementality. It's there to kind of assign a different kind of value. And I think it gets hard when, you're trying to compare what we do with maybe what else is out there. You might get 3 different answers to the same fundamental question of how effective was my marketing.
Right.
And so I think we really believe in our methodology. We believe that our data is top notch. We believe that it can give us insights that are unparalleled. And so we continue to leverage that, even if, in the face of sometimes conversations where, hey, the industry is used to, some methodologies and some data that maybe isn't as transparent. And so that's where some of those tough conversations we've kind of talked about here in this session kind of come from. But again, we're going to stick to that script of saying, hey, look, we believe in our methodology, we believe in our data, and we're going to be very transparent with what we report back to you.
It's great.
And just to add to that quickly, the digital media industry is still very new, 20 or 25 years old maybe. And so we've talked a lot about different data sources, and really people have it's grown so quickly that people have just taken whatever they have and made the right decision. So it's not that, yes, there's a lot of misrepresentation of results out there for, to Adam's point, you might get 3 different answers to the same question based on what data set you're actually using. It's people are using whatever data they have access to, right? And so we're through being the most transparent media company, are really focused on how do we bring that change? How do we kind of evolve and mature an industry that has sort of grown up too fast and too quickly to help it take the right next step.
Well, speaking of next steps, I've heard a lot about, both before and during this interview, about Kroger Precision Marketing, or KPM, I think is how we refer to it. So, Michael, maybe you can take this. It seems to be a win-win for both the CPGs, right, and for the customer. Can you tell us a little more about that platform and how it fits into this deeper data-driven, learning?
Yeah, so we launched KPM about 18 months ago, and our goal was to connect brands in with Kroger customers in relevant ways, however they consume media and however they engage with Kroger and with brands. So it really comes to life in many different forms and functions, whether somebody's on Kroger.com using the mobile app, whether they're in store, whether they're just browsing the open web and interacting with other display advertising or video advertising that may be happening. And so it's really about how do we use the data that we've talked about and the completeness of that data to make media and advertising more relevant for our customers. So today there are, I think that the status that the average kind of U.S. Person is exposed to 5,000 messages every day. Sorting through that mess is incredibly challenging, right? Everything from a notification that I probably have 15 on my phone right now, just sitting here, to a billboard while you're driving down the road, and being relevant and personalized within that 5,000 messages is what helps you to stand out. And so our mission is really to use our data assets to power advertising in the right ways and make it more relevant and help our partners to stand out with our customers, to provide value in different ways. And so for us, it's all about how do we balance personalization? How do we balance a brand's need to acquire and grow their customer base? How do we balance that with Kroger's own objectives as more sales move online into e-commerce and Kroger adds new fulfillment options and opens up new experiences for customers all the time. It's really about connecting with customers with whatever they're trying to do right in that moment.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I appreciate it. So let's shift focus a bit. Instead of the data that 8451 has, let's talk about the data brands have. Okay. They have their own sets of data as well. So Adam, what are your recommendations on how brands should use the data you provide to get value out of the insights and continue to grow their business through customer loyalty at Kroger?
Yeah, sure. So I think, first step, right? If you run campaigns through KPM, you're going to get some very robust insights on the back end. So I think that data is cut very granularly. It's not just, hey, everyone you exposed to this campaign did X or performed Y well, whatever it is. So I think when you start to think about how we cut data on our side, we segment people, right? We've done there's a lot of science to say, hey, these people are very price sensitive. These people are, identify very much with like natural foods, like really whatever that is. There's insights at that kind of level. So you can kind of say, hey, I went after these kind of people. I target these kind of people. Here's who worked well. Here's who didn't. And I think that data itself is very valuable to a brand because it educates them on who's buying their products. Right. And so, with our data and our stuff, our measurement, you're able to actually learn more about your customer base than maybe you can just with the data you have. I think, brands that have their own CRM database, they have their own data, I think that's obviously very valuable. They can activate on it across different channels. I would encourage them to continue to leverage Kroger with KPM to potentially layer that data, like we kind of mentioned earlier, on top of the data that Kroger has, and really make even more robust data set to learn from, and really just take those insights and figure out how else you can bring in your own data to just learn about your customer base. And that could lead to a lot of things. It could lead to changing how you package products. It could change what's on your product, different sizes. There's all these different learnings that I think with the data set we have that a CPG client can really, and a brand can really take back and work with their own data about whatever they know about their customers and really change the way they operate their business as well.
That's great. Okay. Well, speaking of data, we've talked a lot about data as relates to KPM, 8451, Kroger, the customers. But now it's time to get a little bit of data on each of you, right?
All right.
It's time for the 8451 lightning round, where we ask you a series of 8 random questions for 51 seconds. So guys, Michael and Adam, are you ready?
Let's see if we can make it.
I'm ready.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Michael, what's your signature dance move?
Oh, I believe strongly you don't have one. It's all in the moment.
I like it. All right. Adam, what's one thing you refuse to share?
Kroger coupons.
Keeping it real. I like it. Michael, if you could make everyone at 8451 follow one rule for a day, what would it be?
Clean up your own dishes.
Ooh, the inside joke here, folks. So back to Adam. If you were a hoarder, what would you hoard?
Man, in the digital age, I would still hoard pictures of my beautiful 13-month-old daughter.
I love it. All right. I'm getting misty. Okay, Michael, how do you feel about pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
No way.
No way. Wow, this is a recurring question, by the way. Adam, what is your favorite part about your job?
The cliche answer is people like Michael and everyone else I work with.
Yeah, it's pretty cliche. Anyway, Michael, could you go a week without your cell phone?
Yes, I could.
Awesome. And finally, Adam, if someone asked you to go ghost hunting, would you go?
If I'm in a big group, safety and security, yes, I would go.
Awesome. Did we make it? Ooh, not quite.
But you learned some good stuff about us.
You learned some good stuff. We got some data on Michael and Adam. Speaking of which, guys, thank you very much. It's been a lot of fun. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in to The Uplow'd by 8451. Have a great one.
Millen here. That's it for this month's episode of The Uplow'd. We hope you enjoyed it and hopefully learned something new. Remember to give us a like and share your feedback. Until next month, stay curious.